guys, and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. I'm your homegirl Bean, and yes, I am the blissfully single one. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just enjoying my mimosas this Saturday morning. I got so much to do. I got to work on my blog. I'm trying to bang out a couple of YouTube videos. I got to work tonight, and I'm trying to work out. So I'm trying to fit all of this within the next few hours. But I hope you guys are having a very pleasant Saturday morning. This is my review of Cherish the Day. The episode is called Nemesis. And when I started watching it, I'm like, Nemesis? Who are enemies? You know, in this episode. Not Gently and Evan. Gently and Evan have now been married for 2 years. And I was talking to my friend about the show, and he says the show is actually going to be an anthology because I was questioning why the storylines are so fast moving. You know, first episode, they meet each other, they date, they get married. Now they're married for 2 years. So I was curious as to why things are going so fast. And it makes sense. So, oh my God! Pampered by Portia! I got my Pampered by Portia sheets. The FedEx is just moving up here too. Oh man. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Yeah, Pampered by Portia. Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta has the best or the prettiest looking sheets. She claims that they feel marvelous to sleep in. Portia. Let me be the judge of that. Do I have to? Damn it, I gotta sign for this. Oh, hold on. Yes! I said a whole ass thank you to the man, and he did not respond. I think he had his AirPods on because he didn't look over at me. Oh, yes! My Pampered by Portia. Oh, I know I'm doing the most in this video, but I'm so excited about it. This is, I gotta clean my room today. Yes! Oh my God, look how cute it is! Oh, Portia is so cute. Look at this! 1,800 thread count. That seems like a thread count that's a lot higher than what I get at Walmart. Yes! Pampered by Portia, guys. Yes! Oh my gosh, how cute. Oh, I can't wait to clean my room and make my bed with this. Thank you, Portia. Anyway, okay, getting back to my review. So it's been 2 years now. Evan and Gently have been married, and I'm just, okay, I know. I keep singing the praises of Ava DuVernay, but she puts these little touches in her episodes that she celebrates the black experience and she celebrates black womanhood. Because they're talking in a scene and Gently turns around and you see Gently's natural hair has grown, maybe armpit length. So Ava DuVernay shows the passage of time using a black woman's natural hair. It was just a little moment where I was like, oh my gosh, that is so, oh my God. I know it might seem shallow to you, or, you know, so it's hair. No, it's not hair. It's our crown. And for her to use it to show something very significant, like time passing, Ava, she's my spirit animal, Ava DuVernay. They're getting adjusted to married life. You know, Gently doesn't have to work anymore, but Gently is still checking in with the woman she used to take care of, played by Cicely Tyson's Miss Luna. She goes in to check on Miss Luna. Miss Luna is not happy, child. Miss Luna has a new caretaker. He's young as hell. And you know, when we're of a certain age, we're not trying to fool with these young people. Miss Luna's not trying to fool with these young people. Miss Luna says, listen, Gently, he is not you. And he cheats a cause. But I thought it was a very touching thing where Gently doesn't have to check after Miss Luna. Gently can just be at home and be, you know, a woman who is well taken care of, but Gently loves. Gently is, I wouldn't necessarily call Gently an emotional person, but Gently has a sense of responsibility and care, and you can see that with the fact that she's still keeping up with Miss Luna. So Miss Luna is trying to get something popping. I don't know if it's a TV show, but she received a rejection, and Gently, who knows everything is going on, is very disappointed, for Luna. Is very disappointed that Miss Luna didn't get the opportunity that she was trying to get. Watching Cicely Tyson play Miss Luna, oh my God, she's just gorgeous. I really hope that I get to live to be 90, and if I do, I hope I look just like Cicely Tyson, or just like my grandmother. Gently is very disappointed. Gently goes home. Evan comes home. It sounds like Evan is trying to sell an app. But the investor who is interested in buying the app, Evan has concerns, and Evan's partner, who is his brother-in-law, also has concerns that the investor who wants to buy the app is going to change the app into something they had not intended it to be. He's talking to Gently about that. Gently is talking to him about Miss Luna and this opportunity, and Evan mentions that he wants to bring the investor in to talk to her about the app. So, Gently has to do her wife thing and get everything ready. Gently is at home. She gets a phone call from Miss Luna's agent. Miss Luna's agent and her are talking about this opportunity that Miss Luna lost, and Gently has an idea. Gently says, wait, we can do a podcast. That's something that's the overhead is very low. The overhead to put a podcast together is very low. The entry point, entry point in is very easy. Just tape something and put it on SoundCloud until it grows into something else. So they're getting very excited because this is a product that they own, and they're very excited about it because this is a product that they can own. They don't need someone's permission to get Miss Luna where she wants to get to. So they're very excited about that. Evan comes home to talk about this party, and she's trying to talk about, this podcast. And this is where you understand where the episode is going. They're 2 years in. The first 5 years of a marriage are very difficult. So they're in this space right now, or at least Gently is in this space right now, where she doesn't want to lose herself. She still wants to be her, and she still wants to do the things that she enjoys doing. Evan is of the mindset, listen, I'm trying to sell an app to make us rich beyond our filthy, dreams. An app where I don't have to worry about working anymore. It's these two ideals right now. Luna not wanting to get lost, and Evan's drive to become wealthy that are really clashing right now. And it takes Gently to a place where she's thinking about everything Parent Ben said. You two are two different people, and she's thinking about all the contradictions, as it may, that really have been a center of their relationships. They're very different people, so it's clear that she's having her doubts. Scene comes, they're getting ready for the party. She has this, Gently has this lovely striped dress on, and they get into it shortly before their guests arrive. They get into it because, again, Evan is, I think what happened is, did it start with a cut? I think it started with the cut. She nicked herself, and he wanted to help, and she's like, don't you only care about yourself anyway? And it brings up that whole conversation about what she wants, which is to do this podcast. And I want you to look at this podcast as important as I'm looking at it, Evan. And Evan is kind of thinking like, podcast, schmodcast, we're trying to get this bag. So they have that argument. So there's a lot of tension before their two guests come in. The two guests come in. It's a woman and it's a man, and it's very interesting because it's a role reversal from Gently and Evan's dynamic. Because in Gently and Evan's dynamic, Evan is the breadwinner. Evan is the one who's making the decisions to make them wealthy. Their guest, the wife, is the breadwinner, and the wife is the one that will usher the couple into being wealthy. So it's very interesting to see that they come in. I don't know if it was the fact that Evan and Gently got into it before the couple came in, or the fact that Gently was such a perfect host. She out-hosted Evan. And I know a woman, we're the queen of the manor, so we're supposed to out-host our husbands or our boyfriends or our live-in partners or whatever the case may be. But damn, Evan was not happy. Evan was very agitated. And in this scene, Gently puts out this cheese tray and liquor. She has, I believe the woman drinks the whiskey. So she has the whiskey, the woman investor wants. Her husband doesn't like whiskey. Her husband prefers wine. She says, I got you. They're sitting down. This amazing cheese spread and these different cheeses. And Gently speaks a couple of different languages, one of them being Portuguese, which I believe the husband's Portuguese, so she's naming all these Portuguese cheeses. And he says, do you speak Portuguese? She says, a little bit. I backpacked through South America. And at this scene, I realized, listen, sitting in a college for 4 years is, that's cute and all, but that doesn't make you educated. I don't think Gently had any formal education when I say formal, as far as college, because her mother made that reference, not her mother, Evan's mother made that reference last episode about her, she's not even educated, or she hasn't even been to college, or the first episode she made that reference. So I don't think Gently's been to college, but Gently is clearly intelligent, clearly educated, clearly well-spoken, clearly, she's a woman who's traveled and who's experienced different cultures and who can speak to anyone about anything. So at this moment, I'm like, Evan, child, she making you look bad. And the way he was drinking his liquor with the veins like popping out like, The investor was like, your wife is just lovely, amazing. And Evan's like, she's something, all right. But that scene was something. Gently got cut earlier in the episode, so I guess the wound opened up again and she started bleeding. The investor's husband said, look, you're bleeding. So she gets up and she goes, tends to her finger. Evan offers to help and she's like, yeah, no. And she goes in the bathroom. And that moment is a pickup from earlier where she got cut and they got into it. And she says to him, don't you care? You don't care about anybody but yourself. So they come back out. And now the investor, the woman, steals Evan to have a separate conversation. While they're doing that, Gently and the investor's husband make their way outside. They're talking, and she's telling him a little bit about his experiences. And I got to take out my notes because what he said was so significant. She talks to him about being married. They're newlyweds, 2 years. And she said, to tell you the truth, I've never been home past 2 weeks, since I can't remember. She's always on the go. She says she misses traveling and she misses the feeling of a different sun on her skin. Who's writing for this show? The writing for this show is so profound. Absolutely amazing. So he's talking to her and he says, I travel. He says, I travel 6 months out of the year. He says, what my job doesn't cover, his wife covers. He understood where Gently was coming from, and this is why he gave her that response. He says, Evan is doing well for himself. Why don't you do the same? And Gently gave an answer that made sense. Gently gave an answer that 100% of wives would give. She says, I can't do that because my husband is here. And I had to write this down because it hit home. I didn't cry this episode. This is the first episode of Cherish today that I didn't cry. And I think it's because there's this mounting tension between Gently and Evan. But when she says she can't travel because her husband is here, she's relaying a sense of a confinement, imprisonment. He says this is where people misunderstand marriage, and we shape marriage as a prison. And I feel like our notions of marriage and imprisonment and confinement really has a lot to do why a lot of people don't want to get married. And I know as a single mom of 2 boys, I'm not interested in marriage. And it is for the same reason. I don't want to be confined. I don't want to be imprisoned. I want to move how I want to move. If I want to go to my cousin's house and drink the day away and spend the night, I don't have to come home and be accountable to a husband. If I want to get up and leave and move to Atlanta, I don't want to have that conversation with my husband telling me, oh, well, we shouldn't go because we have our roots here. So the dynamic of marriage and imprisonment that Gently seems to not embrace but is dealing with I can certainly understand. But the investor's husband says, we got it twisted. We got it twisted about marriage. We make it seem like it's some kind of prison, but in reality, when you're confident in your marriage and who you've married, then you can come and go as you please. And I said, where's that? I said, damn. When you're confident in your marriage, you can come and go as you please. If there's trust, if there's a solid foundation, yes, I'm going to go on, travel the world 6 months out the year, and my wife will be here busting it down, doing what she excels at, which is making this family money. That conversation was, it challenges the notions of marriage. Excellent job, Ava DuVernay. Excellent. They flash over to Evan and the investor talking. And the investor says, listen, I'm not coming here to change your whole situation. I'm just trying to make things, I like your app. I'm just trying to show you another way of approaching things. And he says, I really do appreciate that. She says, you've got to look at things differently. You're trying to sell me an app, but you're sitting on a landmine. You have to look deeper in that you've got data. You've got data on consumers. You've got data to show you the behaviors of the consumer. This kind of valuable data allows us to construct products that is targeted for the consumer. Thereby, profitability goes through the roof because you're giving the consumer exactly what they need. If they need it, they will buy it. She says, you got to sit down and understand. You're trying to get rich. Rich is not the name of the game. Homegirl said you want to be wealthy. And not only do you want to be wealthy, you want to create wealth in a generational way so that your children's children will be eating off of that. Like Beyonce, my great-great-great-great-grandchildren are already rich. That's the kind of wealth you want to create. So in talking to Evan, she's trying to help him to understand, push deeper. You have to want more. And the thing that was so significant about these two conversations was that Gently got exactly what she needed from the investor's husband because there was a need there. Same with Evan. Because Evan is driven by this app. Evan is driven by doing well. And the investor encourages you, like, you're chasing pennies. Like, you out here chasing waterfalls when there's so much more that you can accomplish and conquer. Miss Luma's agent calls Gently. There's something going on, or there's interest in the podcast, or there's something big going on where they can really push this podcast. And Miss Luma's agent is urging Gently to leave this party with Evan and the investors and go down to what they've got going on there. Oh my God, that's a little bit dangerous. Gently, I understand where you're coming from, and I understand you feel a sense of being lost, and you want to do you right now. And this podcast, promoting this podcast, is everything that you need. It's a project that you would need. At the same time, if you leave this party to go to this thing with Miss Luma's agent, I think that will cause damage to your wedding. I'm sorry. I think that will cause damage to your marriage. I really do. So I'm very nervous. You see her on the phone with the agent, and then she walks off, but we're not sure if she's going to this party and leaving her own, or if she's staying at this party with Evan. It's oh my gosh. It's getting tense. So I'm like, Nemesis. Did that mean these two are becoming nemesis? I don't know what the plural of that is. It's a shame I graduated as an English major. But are the nemesis, are they enemies to one another? I just was confused about the wording of that and what that all meant. So we get to see next episode what she decides to do. But personally, I hope Gently did not go to that party. Like, there'll be other opportunities to push this podcast. Like, work hard enough and you can do, whatever you need to do. But right now, you guys are in a tense space, and you're kind of like everything to this party as far as hosting. Oh, God, Gently, I hope you stay. We'll find out next Tuesday. But in the meantime, if you like my channel, please, if you like this video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I also work on resumes. Email me at sabinevante@gmail.com so I can get your resume popping. I'll have all the information in the description box. But listen, the world is changing. You need an updated resume. Let me take, if anything, let me take a look at your resume for free, and I'll give you some recommendations on what you should do to make it a resume that when you send it out, you get calls back. Also, please follow my blog, blissfullysinglebeing.com. Please join my newsletter. Listen, child, I'm trying to make big changes in my life. I want to move from New York in a couple of years, but when I move, I don't know if I want to go back into corporate America. I don't. So I'm really trying to go by blog. I'm trying to go my YouTube channel, and I'm trying to go with my resume writing so that I can get to a space when I do move to Atlanta with my kids. I can create my own content. I can make my own money, and I can finally be the mom that, my kids deserve. So help me out. It takes 2 seconds to subscribe to a newsletter, and it takes 2 seconds to hit a like button. So in the meantime, guys, stay safe. Please, guys, I'm not being funny. Wash your hands. Use your sanitizers. Practice good, hygiene. We're going to get through this, but right now we've got to put in our own work to make sure that you're safe and your family's safe. All right, please comment. I love you guys commenting. It's a conversation. It's a conversation. All right, I will see you guys next week for the next episode of Cherish Today. Girl, Gently, please do not go to that party and leave your husband. All right, guys, happy Saturday. Bye.